Welcome to True Crime with Strategic Eyes.
Strategic back again. What's going on, guys? Hope you guys are having a great day. Sorry about that. I'm just over here adjusting the sound, trying to make sure everything is good on my part. Let me bring this back. Let me take this background off of me. We got a really good show for you guys today. Today is going to be a day where we are really going to get some deep insight into the Madeline Soto case. We've been covering this case for a very long time. This case is near and dear to us. It's almost personal, man. You know, in my day job, you guys know if you're new to this channel, I'm an active duty sex crimes detective for a very prestigious agency. I dare say so. I'm very proud of the agency I work for. We do good work and we serve our community with distinction. And I've noticed since I've started basically covering the Madeline Soto case that I'm starting to see her in a lot of my victims, and that's very sad, man. But it seems like I don't know if it's because I'm more aware of what happened with Madeline, but it's like whenever I have a lot of new cases with these teenagers, especially, I'm always like drawing a comparison to the Madeline Soto case. This case is near and dear to me, and along with the Naziah Harris case, I want to see this case to its completion. Naziah Harris being another tragic case where a teenage child was abused by a monster, impregnated for sure with Naziah Harris, and then ended because of that pregnancy. And for those of you who are not new to the channel, you know that that's a possibility, I believe, that occurred in the Madeline Soto case, that she may have been pregnant, or Stephan Sterns believed she was pregnant, and therefore, he probably killed her. These are just my theories for Madeline Soto. These are facts for Naziah Harris case, but these are my theories for the Madeline Soto case. So we've gotten a lot of content from some very brave, hardworking YouTubers who've put their money on the line and their time on the line to FOIA requests, tons of information that brought us deep insight into this case. People, namely like Plunder, The Docket, GHI, these guys kind of like formed a kind of FOIA group where they're pooling their money and their resources together so they can go ahead and get us more stuff. Also, Grizzly True Crime, she has FOIA'd on her own, gotten stuff for us. So we, as part of the true crime community, we've been eating off, to be honest with you. That's like a little Harlem slang. You take it how you want it. We've been eating off these creators. We've been getting the content that they've been bringing to us. Well, guess what? Somebody came out of left field. Somebody came out of left field by the name of Allegedly Speculating. Small YouTube channel covering this case and other cases. She put in a FOIA request and she got a video that nobody else has gotten. So we gave her a few days. We didn't want to cover it too soon. We wanted to make sure that she had time to recoup her costs, because I'm pretty sure she spent quite a bit of money to get this video. But now the time has come for the Strategic Eyes show to react to this video. It's time for a sex crimes detective to look at the mannerisms, the body language, the atmosphere, the words, the sentences, the aura of these people, and for us to see if we could get greater insight into what these folks were doing, what were they saying, and how were they acting in the apex of this case. The very beginning, when all that everybody believed that they were working with, besides Stephan Sterns and possibly Jen Soto, was a missing child. And I said besides Stephan Sterns because he knew he killed her, and possibly Jen Soto because we have our suspicions that she might know more than what she's willing to tell. But other than these two people, possibly, allegedly, everybody else thought that maybe they were just looking for a missing child. So that being said, guys, big shout out to everybody. Let me make sure that, oh, Aki's in the building. I was trying to text her and then I was like, oh my God, I got to go live. The intro's almost over, so I didn't get to text her, but Aki's on point. We got Erica B on point. We got David in the building. Everybody's in the building. Everybody's ready to rock and roll, guys. That being said, guys, big shout out to all the members who are in there. I see a lot of green. You guys are amazing. We're going to do a members show a little bit later on. We did a members show pregame before. You guys helped me with the sound and all that. We had some issues, technical issues. We will be doing a proper members show where we're going to decompress off of this show and talk about just basically how I truly feel about what I see. That might be a little bit too spicy for the population on YouTube. So make sure that you're a member, make sure that you join, make sure that you take advantage of all the extra content that we give to the members and the Patreon. So that being said, now let me set everything up because we're going to do our reaction to this. It's 28 minutes. You guys already know in true strategic fashion, 28-minute video for this might end up being an hour-and-a-half show. So get your popcorn, get your energy drink, and prepare yourself because we are about to get started right now. Let's do it. We know we got a body-worn camera, so the first few seconds or sometimes a minute or two, there's no sound. We're watching the buffer right now, ladies and gentlemen. And one more thing, please, while this buffer is playing, please hit that like button, guys. Hit that like button. And big shout out to Allegedly Speculating. She is the one who got this video. Please do go to her channel, watch the video without my commentary so she can get some views, so she can recoup the costs that it took to get this. Let's do it.
Hello.
Hi.
Are you Madeline's mom?
No.
No. Are you Madeline's mom?
Yes.
Did she come home?
What's that?
Did she come home? No. You don't know where she would have gone. No. Did she take anything? Any clothes?
Her birthday money is still here. Toothbrush, everything.
Okay.
Hey, you notice he just jumped in? He's talking to Matt. He doesn't even know who this guy is. He didn't even know who Madeline's mom was. He didn't know that this Ninja Turtle here was Jen Soto. He had no idea. So he's coming on the scene without any information. He's like, are you Madeline's mom? He thought the first lady opened the door was Madeline's mom. No, I'm Madeline's mom. He's talking to Madeline's mom. He doesn't know who this dude is. And immediately Stephan Sterns start laying out that alibi, laying out those false facts that will throw the police off. No, everything is here. Of course, those are truths. Her stuff is there. But he's buttressing that, throwing that information out there to try and craft this narrative that she was trafficked and kidnapped so that the police are looking in Monaco, they're looking in New York, they're looking in Honolulu instead of in the brush 50 miles away from here. Let's keep going. Less than 50 miles, by the way.
So nothing that she took with her and went somewhere else. Is there any place that you guys think that she would have went? Any friends' houses?
The only friend I could have thought was, but I think Orange County PD already went to her house and talked to them.
Okay. Well, what's that address? Just so I can make sure they already checked there.
There we go.
They're trying to
Look
everywhere they
See
can.
that? Once the detective, I mean the officer, this deputy or officer, you know they got both of them out there in Florida. We don't really got deputies like that up here in the Northeast. You're a cop or you not. In most places, they still have sheriffs. But once this sheriff's deputy starts asking questions, what does Stephan Sterns do? He starts crossing his arms again. He gets in that defensive position. And what is he always doing in all of these interviews? Hovering over Jen Soto, making sure she stays on script, hovering over her. So his hands are crossed now. He's in his defensive position, and he's hovering over her. She could feel that energy. She could feel that presence behind her. Stay on script. Stay on script.
Of course.
First name is.
Let's see if I still have Google Maps pulled up to her address. Let's see.
Did she go to school today?
No.
No. Okay.
She was supposed to. She was dropped off close to school. She wanted to walk the rest of the way because she was embarrassed by his car.
Okay.
Which is normal for her to ask to be.
It's an image thing.
Right.
But
so that's a lie. Once again, which is normal. It's not normal. It's not normal. Because Stephan Sterns rarely ever dropped her off. Nobody could even think of a time that he dropped her off, though it may have happened once or twice in the past. So when she says, dropped her off and she's ashamed of his car. This is a lie. This is part of the things that I believe. This is my belief that they crafted together. I just can't believe that Sterns will say, this is what you need to say, and she's like, okay, I'll say it. That doesn't make any sense to me. It would only make sense to me if she agreed to it. She cannot be that gullible where she's like, okay, whatever you tell me to say, I'm going to say. No. I just don't believe it. I'm sorry about that. So let's keep going.
I went to the school to pick her up at the end of the day, and she never came outside. I drove away thinking maybe she walked to my mom's office, because sometimes she'll do that if I can't pick her up. And my mom's office is less than, what would you say, half a mile away?
Yeah.
It's pretty close.
Something like that.
She would get there, school ends at 4:04, she would get there by 4:35 the latest. She never got there by 4:35. I started driving around. I went back to the school was closed.
Most of the scream she could maybe walk to her grandma's house, but that's a lot further.
When the school was closed, I realized something was wrong. I called and I said, hey, did you see Maddie today? Or is she with you? Because I can't find her. And she said, no, she never made it to first or second period. And I said, what do you mean? I dropped her off at school. And she's like, she never made it to school. And I said, can you please check with the rest of your friends, see if she made it to any of her other periods? At this point, I messaged her teachers directly, and I asked if any of them saw her. 2 of them responded to me. One of them told me she didn't make it to his period, and he also checked her attendance for the rest of the day. She never made it to any of her periods. This is when I knew something was truly wrong, because she was dropped off by him close to the school. She should have made it to school. At that point, that's when I called 911. This was around 4:35, 4:40. Police did not show up till 7:30, I want to say.
Up in Orange County?
Up in Orange County.
Okay.
And then at that point, that's when all the questions started happening. And then he took them to where he dropped her off.
Okay, I guess they redacted something.
Someone in an outfit she was wearing sit in their parking lot for a little bit, like take a break from her walk, because she was early for school, and then get up and then leave towards the school. That's as far as I know.
Okay.
But yeah.
Okay. Were you able to find his address?
Sorry.
No, you're fine. I know you guys got a lot going on. Did she take her school laptop with her?
She did.
She did.
She did.
They already tried to track it, but unfortunately the unit is completely powered off.
Oh, okay.
Completely offline according to them. They were unable.
I mean, first of all, I'm going to ask him, like, who are you, by the way? You have ID on you? I want to see what your name is and who are you to Jen Soto? Who are you to Madeline Soto? Since this officer didn't even know who Madeline's mother was, I would assume he's not going to know who Stephan Sterns is. And it appears that they were dealing with the Orange County folks. So now these are probably either the Osceola County deputies or it's the Kissimmee guys. So they probably don't know who these folks are. I would definitely want to know, who is this guy? Because she just told you that he dropped her off in the morning. So naturally, he's the last person to have seen this child. You want to ID him, but let's keep going.
Okay. She doesn't have any other kind of technology that you guys could track. I'm sure you guys already checked that.
No nothing.
Yeah.
She
Normally
accidentally,
she has her phone, but she left it at home today.
and that is normal for her. She's got ADHD. She's very forgetful.
Okay.
I always have to remind her.
We're kind of forgetful too sometimes.
Once again, they're using the mental health as a crutch. Big shout out to Galen with a 10 member gift membership. Thank you so much. So all those 10 people, please thank Galen for being so generous and showing you love.
I believe, no, this isn't that.
Look how close he is. He's watching everything on her phone. see. I'm trying to see if I can see something on this video. I can't see anything. I would
Gotcha.
love to see what's on that phone. I mean, most likely it wasn't anything that was too probative because the officer didn't confiscate it or anything like, yo, what is that? You got CSAM on your phone? Jesus Christ. Put your hands behind your back. No, so whatever's on there, he wrote it down. But I'd love to see what was on her phone.
And what's a good phone number for if you guys
Oh, they went ahead and they just redacted it. Let's keep going.
have one?
Should have.
Look at that. He's right behind. Like, dude, this is the thing with law enforcement. Like, we need some better training. Like, if you go to Europe, you got to go to school for like a year. Some European countries, it's 2 years of police schooling. So you get hired by the police department, and then they put you in an academy that lasts 2 years. And they teach you body language. They teach you how to be a professional observer. In America, you usually just pick these things up as you learn, as you work the job. And of course, some people are going to be much more fitted to learn these things and naturally have these type of characteristics than others. So you're going to have some cops who are better than others. But I think you could train almost anybody to be something, right? I'm a law enforcement officer. I'm looking at this interaction, and how can I say this after the fact? Because I do it every day. So it may be after the fact for the Madeline Soto case, but when I go to work next week, when my day's off over, my RDO's over, and I go back to work next week, I'm going to get a case just like this minus the murder, because the murder makes it homicide. But I'm going to get a case just like this with all the elements of Madeline Soto's case minus the murder. And I'm going to have the opportunity to observe exactly what we see happening here on this screen. And I know based off of my experience, because I've done it 1,000 times, when I see this type of body language, I'm worried. My spidey senses are going up. This officer, I'm not saying he should take some type of action. There's no action for him to take. But I'll tell you what. That memo book, that is a legal document right there. You better believe I'm going to be writing in that memo book, not just dates, times, addresses, and phone numbers like he's doing. I'm going to be writing male subject standing behind the female mother, has his arms crossed. He's looking very worried. He's looking very nervous. He's constantly peering over her shoulders to see what she's looking at and what she's typing inside of her phone. Very suspicious behavior. I'm going to put that down in my memo book. That's not going to convict somebody. If I'm wrong about that, my intuition is wrong about that, big deal. It's just my memo book. It's my observations of what I saw in that scene. But I'm also going to pass that over to those detectives so that they know what I observed, how I observed it, and it's memorialized. If the person is innocent, it never sees the light of day. But if that person is guilty, we now have a contemporaneous account that has been memorialized in that memo book as to what I observed at that moment. This is very suspicious behavior. If I'm doing an investigation, I'm looking at a guy like this, he's at the top of my list of suspects. Does that mean he's guilty? Absolutely not. We need evidence for that. But he's at the top of my list of suspects with this type of behavior I'm seeing right here. Let's keep going.
Okay, no other.
Yo, this dude writes like he's writing Chinese. Now listen, I'm not trying to joke on this officer. Look at how he wrote down that phone number. Watch this. It's like this dude's writing Chinese. Watch this. Look, he writes the numbers, right? Then he like goes back. He's making additional
no
adjustments.
family in the area except for
Grandma.
grandma.
The existing family already up at the office and met with the cops.
Yeah.
The only other closest family member is my sister. She lives in the next neighborhood over. If you were to exit the back gate.
Next door, right over here.
Yeah.
Okay.
So if you exit the back gate, the first neighborhood to your left, I think it's
Yeah.
called Plantation. She lives in
The
there.
office too.
Okay.
But yeah, she was
Yo, Florida's different, man. They named that development Plantation. Florida's different.
in the office helping me with the police, and she was the one who actually went through her phone and her messages and was trying to see if there was anything weird.
Yeah.
We didn't see anything too weird.
Nothing weird. You guys haven't had any recent arguments.
Recently, no. Apparently, on February 2nd, she sent a few messages to a friend stating that she would run away. But it must have been after. From the messages, we must have been arguing, or I must have said something that upset her because she was very upset in her texting with her friend. But
do you guys still have those or no?
Yeah.
Oh, look how messy that house is. So that foyer area or dining area, it's not a foyer area, that dining room area, possibly kitchen, I don't know the layout, looks a little bit clean, but look at that room back there. Oh my God. Look how filthy that room is. Absolutely filthy. And here she goes to the back. He stays there, hands folded, not making eye contact with the officer, not providing the officer with additional information. I've been in this situation with innocent people. And when that person leaves to go get something, that remaining person is trying to engage in conversation with the officer. They're trying to give additional information. If they don't have additional information, they're asking questions. So what's going to happen next? What should I look out for? They're in tuned. They're zoned in. They're locked in on this. He has nothing to say. He's not even making eye contact with the officer. His hands are folded. He's in defensive mode, and he is totally disconnected from this. And I'll tell you why he's there. He wants nothing but to not be there. But he has to be there because he has to hear what Jen Soto says to police so that he could craft his narrative based off of what he hears Jen Soto tell the police and the police tell her. He has to be there in order to speak on his narrative with accuracy and totally deceive the detectives. Why am I stuttering? He has to be there. If he's not there, he doesn't know what she says. If she doesn't know what she says, then he can't change his story to basically account for whatever she may or may not say. That's why he's there. He'd like nothing more than to not be there. But he is compelled to be there to save his own butt cheeks. That's the only reason why he's standing there. Let's keep going.
And that's her phone?
This is her phone.
Okay.
I don't know why it's. Hold on a second. It's wet. Do you remember who
Starts on the S.
No, I'm just trying to see. It's
That's what it was, right? A second.
yeah, this is okay. This is her. See, I don't recall getting in a fight and saying this to her, but sure, we'll say
Bam.
that. I know.
Come on. Come on. We can't see nothing. We can't see nothing.
I mean, I taught her.
Oh boy, we can't see nothing. I'm sorry, guys. Oh no, we can't see nothing. Oh, could we see that? Aki, take a screenshot of that. We gotta work on this, Aki. We gotta work on this. Can I zoom in? Is it possible? How does that work? Let's see something here. Ooh. Oh, that shit don't work. It make the words on the screen bigger, but it don't make the screen actually bigger. Like, oh my gosh. Guys, I didn't even shave my head. You can see my real hairline. Oh my God. Oh boy. We gotta shave that head. The real hairline must not be seen. Let's see. See a crazy face. I can't read that, but I think somebody with the better technology will be able to figure that out. Somebody got to read that, all right? But we'll keep going. 8:23. Somebody write that down. 8:23 is when we get a good view of that phone.
It's okay if I swipe now?
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, so as a detective, what I'll do is I'll say, I'd like to take some pictures of this phone, or I just take the phone and just start taking pictures of it. I'll say, hey, can I look at it for myself? You giving me consent to look at it? I'm going to start screen recording it with my phone. start taking recordings of it. I always do that because we don't know if people are going to preserve the evidence or try and destroy it later, but I always do that. Always. Victims, suspects, doesn't matter. I will stay. If I ask you for permission, you give me permission to hold your phone and look at it, I will be taking pictures or a video of those text messages. You know how many cases we solve? You know how many innocent people, how many people who are accused of a crime, we were able to prove that they're innocent by looking at their accuser's phone with their permission and looking at those text messages that they had with the person that they're accusing of sexual assault. You know how many cases we were able to say are unfounded because we were able to determine. The person say, look at this message right here, and they want to point you at this one message and say, listen, I want to look at all these messages. And then they're nervous, so they're like, yeah, sure, go look at it. But they know, oh my God, he's going to see the real truth. And then you read through all the messages and you realize, oh, this is set up. The person's mad. They're mad at this person for whatever reason, and they're making these allegations up. So I always will record those messages. It's good that he's smart enough, though. Big kudos to this deputy or cop, whatever his title is. Big kudos to him for saying, can you allow me to read this for myself? Very smart, good investigative move. Let's keep going.
Where did she say that she wanted to run away? Did I just miss it?
Something that she can't wait till she's 13 and she's out of here.
Actually, I'm not sure where. I thought it was part of that conversation. Never mind.
Or is it a different conversation? There's her cousins out.
Do you guys remember what she said? Did she say she wanted to
The gist
run
of
away?
it was she was mad at her mom and she turned 13 and like she was literally
Run away to the woods. That's what she said.
What we could try and do,
That was the gist of it.
search. If you remember what she said, you could try and type that in and it'll. So she said run away to the woods.
Yep. 284 Patrol.
No, that's safe. We're talking about growing up and living in the woods. But that's not it. Okay, let's try running away.
Yeah.
So she never said she was going to run away and live in the woods. I mean, we know that because we covered this before. She never said that. She said that when I turn 18, I'm going to go live in the woods. And 18 years old is a grown person. At 18, your child could say, screw you guys, I'm out of here. Walk out the door and go live their life. There's nothing you can do about it at 18 years old in America. So it wasn't running away. It was, I want to go live in the woods, which would be her right when she turns 18 years old. But she made it seem like she wants to run away, which changes the dynamic for officers because now it's like, well, might be a chronic runaway type child, a child that doesn't want to be home, rather than a child that is actually endangered. Now, we know at this point she's dead, but if she wasn't dead, she would be endangered, and maybe the officers would not look as vigorously as they should because they think she just wants to run away. Maybe she's at a friend house or something. So it's very irresponsible, in my opinion, for Jen to say that she says she wants to run away, which is a powerful word. Remember, words have meanings. They're not these hollow things. Words have spiritual meanings. They also have literal meanings. And we react to words based off of what they mean. And by her saying that, I think it was irresponsible because it was not accurate because this little girl never said I wanted to run away. She said, when I turn 18, I'm going to go live in the woods. Let's keep going.
Nothing.
Stretch there, check.
What about just run? Jump. Run away?
13.
No. Let me try it as one word. No. Let me ask my sister who actually went through her phone.
Okay. Do you have a recent picture of it?
Yeah, I can give you a few.
You can airdrop it to you if you like.
No, I just wanted to see it. Just want to know who I'm looking for. I know Orange County, they already have pictures.
Look at him. He has not moved. He has not. I mean, he's physically moved a few inches back, a few inches forward, but his torso and up has not moved this entire time. I can only characterize his body language as guilty knowledge, man. 100% guilty knowledge. His pores is oozing guilt. His hands have not moved since the first 10 seconds of the police officer responded. The first 10, 15 seconds, his hands was to his side. After that, his hands have not moved. This cop's spidey senses should be going through the roof right now. This guy is so guilty, it's not even funny. Let's keep going.
We made these posters if you want them. This is what you're looking for.
Okay. Would you be able to text that to my phone? Which one is the best read?
All right, we're looking at the pictures now. So we're at least able to see that on her phone.
The picture.
The most recent was
I mean, whatever.
this one.
Okay. Do you want to...
They're all very much hurt.
Okay, they're redacting the officer's phone. I was like, why are you putting a redacted block up when we already saw the picture? You didn't redact it, but it's the officer's phone. And I agree 100% you have to redact the officer's phone. Let's keep going. Now, people are saying in the chat, you know, this is what you're looking for. I think she said this is who you're looking for. And a lot of people are like, well, why didn't she say, well, this is who we're looking for? I think we're looking at semantics right now. And, you know, I like to be fair to Jen Soto and Stephan Sterns because there's a lot to hate them for. But I nitpick. You guys can nitpick too because I nitpick. But I disagree with you on this nitpick because this is who you're looking for. I'm paying for you. You're the police. Pay for you with my tax dollars. Of course, we know they don't pay taxes, but whatever. This is who you're looking for. You got the resources. Go out there and find my baby. So I'm not going to hold that against Jen Soto. Let's bring back one more time and see how she says it, just to make sure we have quoted her correctly.
This is who you're looking for.
Okay.
Yeah, she said this is who you're looking for. I think that's totally acceptable. I'm not going to beat her up for saying that. But you guys can if you want. It's your choice. But I don't think so. I think we're too much semantics for that one.
Would you be able to text that to my phone? Which one is the best recent picture?
The most recent was this one.
Okay. Do you want to...
They're all very much hurt.
Okay.
They're all very much hurt. They're all very much hurt. Post their hurt. It's a... Oh, God.
So
look at him. This guy's a big dude. He's like 6'2", 6'1", 6'2". He's a big guy. Look at him. He's almost at the top of the frame of the door. He's a very big, imposing guy. I'm a big guy. I'm tall. I'm just as tall as him. Maddie was sub 4'11". She was almost close to being a vertically challenged individual. Is that the new way of saying midget or something like that? I'm not trying to disrespect anybody. She was a short little girl. She was very diminutive in size. And look how huge this guy is. And look at him imposing over Jen Soto. Huge. Arms crossed, guilty knowledge, standing there, imposing over everybody. Unbelievable. Let's keep going.
Hey. Yes. I'm currently with Kissimmee PD. They came to the house real quick, and they're asking me about the text message where she said she wanted to run away to the woods. Do you remember who she texted?
For the first time, he moved his hands in like 12 minutes that we've been watching this. The first time. to adjust his collar, fix his pockets, and then go back into the guilty knowledge position.
That too, and like what day, so I can show them that.
I want to go back and listen to that because I was reading the chat. I want to hear how she spoke to this person on the phone. And for everybody who's watching the show, we got 624 people watching the show right now. Please, 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 please hit that like button. I'm only asking so very nicely so we could get into the algorithm so our show could be seen by a wider audience. That's all we're asking for. All right? Hit that like button, support the channel. It takes a lot of time and energy to do these shows, and I do appreciate the support. Show us some love. Let's keep going.
Hey. Yes, I'm currently with Kissimmee PD. They came to the house real quick, and they're asking me about the text message where she said she wanted to run away to the woods. Do you remember who she texted that to, and like what day, so I can show them that? Well, see, when I went to what I thought Tall Goblin, February 2nd, where she said, what did she say? Where she talked about like me acting up and that she don't want to live with me, or that I said something about kicking her out before.
You see how she just like gloss over that? She just gloss over the fact that her daughter's complaining that she be acting up and she don't want to live with you. She just glossed over that. Glossed over the fact you're a terrible mother, in my opinion. Just my opinion, allegedly. Like the person who got this, allegedly, supposedly, speculating. Allegedly, she's saying that you're a terrible mother and she don't want to live with you. She just glossed over that. I'd be heartbroken if my child felt that way about me. I'd be heartbroken. I'd take her out to dinner. If one of my girls or my son say, I don't like living with you, you're a terrible dad, you're mean to me, you don't love me, I'm taking them out to dinner, sitting them down, holding their hand, saying, well, why do you feel that way? What can I do to make you feel more loved, to make you feel more appreciated? That would break my heart. That would break my heart just as much as my child going missing. Just as much as my child not being here on this earth, to know that my child is here and they don't love me and they don't appreciate me and they don't think that I'm fair to them. They don't think that I'm a good parent to them. I'd be just as heartbroken as if they wasn't here because they're here and I'm failing them. And I don't want to be a failure of a parent. So she's just glossing over the fact that her child is saying you're a failure of a parent to me. She doesn't care. She doesn't care. Big shout out to Karina Rain with a $4.99 super chat. Says, just a few dollars for your time and hard work. Thank you. Thank you so much, guys. Thank you. There's a lot of people in the chat. Definitely you want my attention. Send a super chat. We do appreciate you. Thank you so much for being so generous. I want to go back. I want to go back. I want to listen to this again. I'm sorry.
Wait, do you remember who she texted that to, and like what day, so I can show them that? Well, see, when I went to what I thought Tall Goblin, February 2nd, where she said, what did she say? Where she talked about like me acting up and that she don't want to live with me, or that I said something about kicking her out before she turned 18, or when she turned 18.
I missed that part where she said, oh, you're kicking me out when I turn 18. Glossed over that too. You didn't want the cops to really zone in on the fact that you said you was going to kick your daughter out when she turned 18. My daughter's about to turn 18. I don't even want her to go. She's talking about she want to go to school in Atlanta. She want to go to school there, here, all these different places. I'm like, God damn, do I know anybody that could get her in an NYU or something like that so she could stay here like the fathers? Maybe you go to SUNY Albany or something. You want to party? I'm not saying she want to party, but it's a party school. Go party. Go have some fun. Go to SUNY Albany, please. Albany's 2.5 hours away. I'll let you go that far. I don't even want her to leave the house. I'm going to miss my baby. I feel like I'm going to cry just thinking about it. Thinking about one less kid in this house. And I still feel like I'm young. I don't feel like I'm old. I don't want my baby to leave me, man. And this woman's talking about telling this little girl she's going to kick her out. Man, listen, I don't know the type of lives some of you folks live. I thank God I don't live the life y'all live. I love my kids, and my kids love me. Thank God. Let's keep going.
It doesn't say it. It doesn't talk about her running away into the woods.
Hey, what?
Where did she say that? Did she ever say that?
In front of Home Depot. Oh. And log out Florida Tech for me as well. That one.
Yo, big shout out to Tracy Figlin with a 10 gift membership. So those 10 people, please thank Tracy. Tracy, you're amazing. Thank you so much. Let's keep going.
It'll be 0028 Alpha Yankee. Florida Tag. It'll be a white minivan.
Oh, okay. Okay. Okay.
All right, so let me give you some more tidbits. Like, for me, once again, he's now closer. So let's look at that. Let's keep that in mind. Now he's closer again. Now he's right back behind her again. And you know what? Like, it's almost like God is like kind of setting the scene for us. Look at the lighting, guys. Look at the lighting. It's like the darkness of this man's soul is actually manifesting itself into reality. The darkness of both of these people is manifesting itself. Look how much of a dark, imposing figure he is in this scene. I know some people don't like the esoteric stuff, but I believe in that stuff. I'm sorry. And that stuff informs me in every aspect of my life. It's almost like the spirit world is manifesting itself. I'm going to leave it there. Look at him, though. He just looks evil. But if I'm there standing them, so now I'm going to go to my detective brain. Forget about the esoteric stuff. I ask people what I believe to be, in my mind, unreasonable things. I ask them to do unreasonable things when I'm doing my investigations. So what would be an unreasonable request that I would ask? And what's the worst it could say is no, right? If I'm out there and she's talking to somebody, asking that person about the question of going to the woods or running away and all that good stuff. You know what I had to ask Jen Soto to do? Once again, I don't say anything on this channel that I don't do in real life. If I do, then I'd be inauthentic and I'd just be a blowhard talking crap about what other people do when I'm not there. And that's the last thing I want to be. That's why I stay in my lane, because this I know. This I have experience in. This people out there can attest and vouch for that I know what I'm talking about. I would have asked Jen Soto, can you put that phone on speakerphone for me? The worst she would have said is no, I don't want to. But she wouldn't have, because people in her situation, they automatically believe that if they say no to police, then they're going to be viewed as guilty. And that might be true to a certain extent. I would have said, well, can you do me a favor? Can you put her on speakerphone so I can hear what she's saying as well? Now, I don't expect him to say he's a beat cop. He's a patrol guy. They don't have the advanced training. Somebody asked in the chat if we get advanced training on body language and stuff like that as detectives. Absolutely, we do. You accumulate these things throughout your career. They send you to trainings. You also, if you actually care about your craft, you'll go out there and actually do research on your own. Like what I do in my spare time is I watch interrogation videos on, Explore With Us and all these different stuff and JSL, whatever, all those different channels that post interrogation videos. I watch them like people go to the movies and see the latest blockbuster. Sometimes I take notes when I watch them because this is my craft. And what I do is life and death. What I do can send people to jail for 30 years in prison, sometimes life, or get somebody probation, or make sure somebody who's not guilty gets freed because somebody's lying on them. It's that serious, the work that I do. So I take the time when I'm free, when I'm driving into work, when I'm not doing anything, when I'm relaxing, to watch these videos, watch interrogation videos, and make sure that I learn from them. I would have asked Jen Soto to put that phone on speakerphone, but I'm not blaming that cop for not doing it because he's not trained. But I would have asked. I wanted to hear what she was saying to this woman, because there's some things that's being said that maybe we want to hear, but we're not going to hear it because she's seeming a little cryptic in the way that she's having this conversation. I don't entirely trust the way that she's having this conversation. And unfortunately, the officer can't hear the other end of it. Let's keep going.
I'll let him know. No, that was it. Okay. So what she had said was to Sage, actually this is Sage's dad that reiterated this to us, was that once she had said she wanted, wouldn't it be fun to go camping in the woods and do a bonfire? So that's what she mentioned about being in the woods. Not that she wanted to run away in the woods. Yeah, that's not running away.
And then with her text, pull up her text again. Have you guys checked her recently deleted text?
I don't know how to do that.
So
Teach me, please.
go back.
do that.
Edit.
Teach me, please.
Show recently deleted. So 6 days, 6 days, and 10. And you could just click on whatever, and you can click recover and look through whatever they are.
I didn't know that either.
Those are all 6 days ago. I don't know if you want to.
That dude just taught me something. Is that an Apple phone? Because I'm not an Apple guy. So if that's an Apple phone, I need to learn how to do that. Because I don't know how to do that on Android either. We got to YouTube Academy, because I'm going to use this in real life. He just taught me something I'm going to use in real life. Thank you, Sheriff Deputy Detective No Name Dude. You just taught me something that I'm going to use in the real world. That's what's up.
Yeah, I mean, if I do that, is it going to get lost in the mix with her other messages, or is it going to show me individual
I'm not sure. I
probably
actually
just
haven't.
shuffle it back into the list of messages.
Yeah, but what does it matter, Jen? What does it matter if the text messages go into the pool of the messages? We don't care. We want to see her messages in its totality. Why would you want to hide that? Or why would you want to see that separate? Like, I don't understand what she's asking. I don't understand how her brain is functioning, unless, of course, she got something she want to hide. I'm just so confused, really, in what she's asking right now.
Try this one because we don't know who this person is.
Okay.
Yeah, try that one.
So who cares?
Cover message.
So then go back. You just click done. And then.
That's it 6 days ago. It's
It
not
does
there.
sound like she's panicking. It does.
What was 6 days ago? What day of the week? This one? That's more than... Okay. So weird.
Go ahead.
I think this was the number. I'm not too sure.
I think it was too.
But it was
I
just...
think it looked like it, but it said that there was only one
I recall that
message.
there was a 7 in it, so.
No. So I don't know.
Who's the other one? Tall Goblin? This one?
Yeah.
Or was it the one with the S? Door.
I will.
So that's Tall Goblins with the S. So one was Friday.
Is that a group chat? That does seem like a group chat, yeah.
Yeah.
She went to a lot of group chats, I think. Especially when she came in.
So when 6 days ago, I wonder if it'll just say 6 days ago. 6 days ago, what was that?
So just goofy shit.
The 21st.
Yeah.
19. 19. Wednesday. So we'll look between Wednesday and the 20th. Wednesday.
Big shout out to research crew. They got a crazy sense of humor. I said, yo, give me something with some Ninja Turtles, man, because she got the big back. No disrespect to who's struggling with weight or anything like that, but she do have a big back. Jen Soto got a big back, and I said, she looked like a Ninja Turtle. Can you make me something with a Ninja Turtle? And that's what they came up with. So big shout out to the research crew who shows so much love and is so creative and helps us bring some lightheartedness to these terrible stories, man. You got to laugh a little bit. You got to get a little bit of a detective humor. This is what we do. We crack jokes. We have a good time. Why? Because it's so stressful and so traumatizing, the stuff that we have to deal with. If we can't compartmentalize this thing, we'll burn out. We'll have to leave the job. We won't be able to do what we do for as long as we do it. So that's why we laugh and we smile on this channel, because though these are tragedies, we have to understand that, number one, we're not the ones who are experiencing the tragedy. And number two, we're the ones who's tasked with bringing justice and giving a voice to the voiceless. So we got to find a way to cope with it as best we can. Let's keep going.
No, it's the 20th. I don't see anything in there.
She's mostly stuff for gaming and stuff.
Yeah. Okay.
That's all she uses it for.
Yeah. I know the other officer already came here and looked inside, right?
Yeah.
Do you guys mind if I go back in and walk through with you guys?
Go for it.
If you guys want to show me the way.
Okay, they're redacting it or something like that. I guess they're redacting this part. I mean, as though we haven't had like a crime scene photos released already. Like, so what are you redacting? Because we've already seen every single part of this home. But whatever. Let's keep going. I have to fast forward it a little bit because obviously we're not going to see anything or hear anything. They totally rejected this. Going to be a while, obviously, because he's doing an extensive search. Let's go back now.
That white Nissan Sentra there, that is Jennifer's.
Okay.
All right, we got 768 people watching right now. Please hit that like button, support the channel. It's like 300 people who haven't hit the like button yet. Please do hit that like button, support the channel so we can get into that algorithm. Just a friendly reminder, please support the channel. You're here consuming the content, taking the time to watch the content. We're not asking for much from you. Not your money, nothing. Just to click the thumbs up. Let's keep going.
Angelica's?
This one?
Yeah.
Okay.
And the silver Lincoln is mine. Well, it's actually my parents', but I'm driving the car right now. It's in better condition.
This is the one that she said she doesn't like to ride in?
Yeah, this is the one she was embarrassed to get dropped off in. So.
Okay. Right, he just had to emphasize, embarrassed to get dropped in. A nice Lincoln MKZ. I drive that car. I drive that car as a go-to-work car. There's nothing wrong with that car. That's a Lincoln. That means the seats are leather. That means that it's got some nice infotainment, some nice speakers. Its body is not that old. This is Florida. This is a poor part of Florida. And Maddie sleeps in a living room. She's not exactly being raised with money. All right, this is a very middle-of-the-road part of Florida. Most of the people in these condos here are renting. All right? Most of these condos are being rented out. This little girl did not grow up in a lifestyle where she's like living the dream and she's accustomed to the most luxury things, and so she'd be appalled if she's picked up in this type of vehicle. That's not her reality. So I just don't believe this whole notion that she was ashamed to be in this car. Get out of here, man. That's just part of his alibi, part of his narrative, part of his lies to basically say why he dropped her off where he dropped her off, which we know he didn't drop her off anywhere. Big shout out to Perky Panda with $5 super chat says, do you think they haven't charged her because they don't want the defense to split culpability and escape the death penalty for SS? Justice equals charges on Jen. Good question. I don't think so. I just don't think that they have the will to charge her, because I think they have enough to charge her. But right now, they probably have enough to charge her with a low-level misdemeanor. Because it'll be her first offense, so they would not charge her with a felony child abuse charge. It'll be a misdemeanor, and I think they just rather just keep her as a witness, to be honest with you. The problem that we have here is that she's not a good witness. She's not a good witness for the defense or the prosecution because she has lied multiple times. And each one of those lies can be used against her in court. So if she goes in court and says, "Oh, Stephan Sterns did this, that, and the third," the defense will be able to impeach her based off of her many misstatements during this investigation. If she testifies on behalf of the defense and says, "No, Stephan Sterns would never do something like this, and I don't think he did it," which would be insane if she did that with all the evidence that the prosecution has against him. The prosecutor would then be able to impeach her and say, well, look at all the different things she lied about when she spoke to law enforcement and to the news. She's a terrible witness for both sides. So it doesn't make sense for the prosecution to make any deals with her. I have no idea, based off of all my law enforcement experience, why the prosecution would give her derivative use immunity or any type of immunity or any type of deference that we've seen them give her so far. The only thing I can think about is incompetence. And for you non-law enforcement people, there's a lot of you out there, most of you aren't, who saw this prosecution deal with what is the Sarah Boone case, and you guys think that they're heroes because they dealt with Sarah Boone. That was an easy case. You don't know nothing about law enforcement. I'm not trying to denigrate you or talk down to you. But just because they did a decent job on an easy case like Sarah Boone doesn't mean they're rock stars. They're not rock stars. They're doing a shitty job with this Madeline Soto case, and I'm saying it. And I'm sorry. I'm sorry I cursed. Sorry I pissed you off, anybody out there. I don't think that the Osceola County District Attorney's Office is doing a good job with this case. I don't think that the Kissimmee Police Department did a good job with this case. I think the Orange County Sheriff's Department did a good job with this case. I think that Detective Kevin did an excellent job with his interviews, but I think that the Kissimmee Police Department's detectives are shitty detectives. I said it. And I think that your hero, what is his name, William J., well, he's middle of the road prosecutor. I said it, William J. No disrespect, bro. We can have a drink. We could go get some dinner and talk about the case if you want to. It's not personal. But the decisions you've made so far, they suck. Jen Soto should have been charged. And that's how I feel about that. It is what it is. I'm a YouTuber. I get to come on here and tell you my opinion. Let's keep going.
I was that age. I understood.
I got you.
Forgive the donut there. I got a flat tire earlier this
That's
afternoon.
fine. You might want to put some and cover the firearm in there. Someone will steal that, man.
Oh, jeez. Yeah, I stuck it there when I was changing the tire.
I got you, yes.
Thank you for pointing that out.
A lot of people, they look in cars, if they see that, they'll smash that back window and
I have
take
my
it.
concealed carry, so
Yeah,
thank you
good for you.
pointing that out. I appreciate it.
Are these all the cars?
I believe there's this Madeline car.
This one?
Okay. Whose car is this? I guess this is like one of the roommates' car. We'll bring that back so he can tell us whose car that is.
I believe there's this Madeline car.
This one?
Yeah, so I think that's one of the roommates' cars or something like that. Okay, let's keep going. Yeah, I mean, listen, guys, like somebody said it in the chat. Like, all right, even if you, with the whole we dropped them off stuff, all right, let's say she's nervous. Let's give her a pass. Let's give her some grace. We're talking about Jen Soto. When she said, oh, we dropped her off at the church. Even if you give her grace for that, she said she saw Madeline at 8 a.m. She said she was a witness to seeing Madeline Soto at 8 a.m. The prosecutor watched a video interrogation an audio interrogation, where he heard her ask, well, what if I don't want to press charges on Stephan Sterns for putting his pee-pee in my daughter in every orifice that she has? And I'm saying it like that to shock you. There's a reason. I want you to be shocked. I want you to say, that's disgusting, strategic. I want you to be appalled, but don't put that energy towards me. Put that energy towards William J. Because William J. listened to that audio interrogation, and he heard her say, what if I don't want him to be charged with that stuff? Can I charge him later if I change my mind? Even though she had no power to charge him or not. Because that offense was offense against the people of the state of Florida. That wasn't an offense that she could decide she wanted to press charges or not just because she was the mother of Madeline Soto. She knew, she was told that this man that's standing behind her like the darkness that he is, the evil spirit that he is, she was told that he raped her daughter for at least 2 to 3 years at that moment. We know it's more. But at that moment, they said, it looks like since she was 10 years old, he's been doing this stuff. And what was her response? Well, what if I don't want to pursue that right now? Could I do it later if I change my mind? William J. heard that. Your hero, William J. heard that. The hero of the Sarah Boone case, where a woman locked a guy in a freaking suitcase. And you guys think that he's good. He's so talented. William J. is so awesome because he was able to get a woman convicted who went through like 8 different lawyers and locked her boyfriend in a suitcase. He got a conviction for that, so he's a rock star. He heard Jen Soto say that. He gave her derivative use immunity without even knowing what she would say. He gave her immunity, and she came with her high-powered attorney, which probably is a better attorney than William J. Maybe they should swap places. Because that attorney was able to negotiate derivative use immunity and know that his client was going to say nothing. He even ended the interview like, all right, guys, this is going on a little bit too long. It's been like 20 minutes. Let's end this interview now. What William J. said, okay, all right, no problem. Let's end the interview. Her attorney controlled that. I've been in so many immunity meetings, so many Queen of the Days. I've been in so many of these things. I've never seen the defense attorney control the room. But you guys wouldn't know that. That's why you watch the show. So cool. Thank you. You're watching the show because you want to hear my expertise. You wouldn't know that, but I'm telling you because I've been there. I've been in those rooms. I have never, ever in my whole career observed a defense attorney control a derivative or a transactional immunity interrogation. Never. And I watched that. I listened to that, rather, in the derivative use immunity that we heard in this case. The defense attorney controlled the room. But William J. is a rock star. Oh, strategic, he got Sarah Boone. No. A loser. And he's allowing Jen Soto to get away with what she did. In my opinion, what she did. We have no evidence of it just yet. Alleged speculating. I like her name. Allegedly speculating. He's letting her get away with being culpable and feeding this pure, beautiful lamb. Delivering this pure, beautiful lamb to the lion's den. The lion's den. The grasp. The embrace. The sick, diabolical, degenerate embrace of Stephan Sterns. That's what Jen Soto did.
Is that all of them?
Yeah.
Just those 4? Okay. All right, well, I'm going to go head over to Sisters. What is her name?
Stephanie.
Stephanie? All right, I'm going to go over there. What's a good phone number for you?
All right, big shout out to Kylie K. Cosmos, who's 299 super sticker, says, I'll be back. Thank you so much for supporting us while you could. And for all the 861 people who are watching this right now, please hit that like button, support the channel. For everybody who's a member, congratulations. We have 22 members, 22 new members. Thank you so much. Bellis is in there, so now we got 23 new members. Thank you so much for becoming a member. And for all the people who gave us super chats, we do appreciate it. We do need it on the Strategic Eyes Show. This show will probably be demonetized. It's a big issue we've been having with YouTube lately. We are being demonetized a lot, and I don't know why. Well, I know why, because I say how I feel, and I rarely censor myself, and I guess YouTube doesn't like that. They don't like me saying pee-pee. It's too much of a salacious word to say the word pee-pee. Oh, well. So it's your support that keeps us going. So thank you for supporting us. Let's keep going. The officer's writing Chinese again. He's writing down the phone number.
Okay. All right, I'm going to go ahead over there, okay? All right. Yep. Done for.
All right, man. Woo, wow, that was pretty interesting, man. There was a lot of guilty knowledge up with that one, guys. Wow. So what we're going to do is we're actually going to, I'm going to watch what some other people put out there, because guess what? I'm not going to see everything. This is my first time watching it, and see what they got going on. And we'll definitely come back. We'll decompress for the members only, of course, and see what we miss, see what things that other people were able to pick up, because there's a lot of astute people on the internet looking at this cases and other cases. We're not going to get everything, so we definitely want to see what other people have to say. I made sure I did not watch anybody else's take on this. Not Plunder, not allegedly alleged, not Grizzly, nobody at all. I wanted to have a completely fresh take, so we just reacted to this together. I never saw it before. I saw like the first 2 seconds, and then I cut it off. And then I did a live before this and paid 5 seconds for a sound check. So all the members who joined me, they helped me with a sound check. After that, we cut the video off and we reacted to it fresh together. So I want to see what other people have to say about this. And then we'll definitely come back and revisit it and talk about the things that we missed, etc. We might do it. We're definitely going to do it for the members, and we might definitely bring it out for everybody else as well. We'll see how that goes. Wow, what a show. It was very interesting watching Jen Soto and Stephan Sterns interacting with this police officer in this pivotal moment where this child had just got missing, and definitely watching them go through the motions and seeing the body language of Stephan Sterns. He's guilty. Just bleeding that guilt. You know what we're going to do? Today is Sunday. What am I doing? I was getting ready to end the show. We're not ending this show. We're going to make this a call-in show. What am I doing? Wow, I'll have nothing to do today but prepare for the snowstorm that's coming to New York. So let me get this up and running, and we're going to do a call-in show. I definitely want to decompress on this one. Wilding out. Sorry about that, guys. Go ahead and open up this application. Where's Skype? And we're going to turn this into a call-in show. I apologize. I ought to put that number out there a little bit earlier to get people ready to rock and roll. Skype, boom. All right. Perfect. Load it up, Skype. That took a little while. It's a fast computer, so when it takes a while, it's like surprising. Like, what? Taking so long. Great computer I have here. All right. Posting the phone number. All right, Aki posted it. She's always on point. We appreciate you, Aki. Aki's doing a great job over there on TikTok, editing the videos, getting it down to that format for TikTok. We had almost 1 million views on some of our videos, and boom, TikTok got shut down this morning. So if TikTok comes back, we will continue to post on that. Until then, we are on Lemon 8. We're on Lemon 8, which is the backup channel for TikTok. So we'll be posting there as well. But hopefully TikTok will be sold to an American company so that they'll stop spying on us. Because guess what? We're Patriot first. Screw the content. America comes first. So they'll sell it to a new company that will stop spying on us, and then we'll be back on TikTok doing our thing with a company that we can actually trust. All right. So, guys, the number is out there. Please, please, please. Aki, can you put that? Well, I could do it. It's all good. Let me pin it. So it's pinned up there. The number is pinned up there. It's 518-639-6283. Once again, it's 518-639. Just disappeared. 6283. We want to hear from you. Call up the show so we can decompress together on this Madeline Soto case. We want to hear from you. Let me get a nice picture up of Jen Soto in the background so she could keep us company. She could keep us company till somebody calls in. All right, let's see here. Download. Good one. A nice good one. What's going on, caller? Welcome to the Strategic Guys Show. I'm over here slurring my words. Where you calling from, and what is your name?
I'm Hurricane, and I'm calling from Orlando, Florida.
All right, so you are actually in that area. I love it. So tell me
Yes.
what's going on. What's on your mind? Talk to me.
2 points.
Mhm.
First of all, I've volunteered in that same school.
Mhm.
So when I heard about Jen's lie about she had to move out the way and the picking up of the kids, that I knew she was lying from that point forward.
Right.
My question to you is,
Mhm.
looking at the other case, Naziah, how they were reading her text
Mhm.
in the pre-hearing or whatever the courtroom was,
Right.
do you think they will be reviewing the text and reading the text the same for Soto's case? Because
Mhm.
we still don't know Jen's texts and messages and everything. We still don't have that information.
Right. That's
So
a good
do you
question.
think they're going to be reading?
Well, it's a good question. It depends. The reason why the Nazara Harris case played out the way that it didn't, and I'm saying in the past tense, which I should not say because it's still ongoing, is because they didn't find the body. They had to do a preliminary hearing, which is kind of like a mini trial with the judge, to show that even though we don't have this body, we have enough evidence to show that this guy is the one who took her life, that he's the one who's responsible for her death. So they were showing evidence to sway the judge to say that this can now move on to a trial without a body. And those text messages showed that he was in a sexual relationship with this little girl. And it showed that he was going to meet up with her, that he's the last person to talk to her, to agree for her to go out of her regular routine, which would be to go to school and then home, but instead to go to school and then leave school and come to him. So that's why that was relevant. Now, they're not going to read out Jen Soto's text if it's not relevant. They're not going to show, hey, we're going to read out these texts to show that Jen is talking to her daughter. Well, that's what a mother's supposed to do, talk to their daughter. But if there is something that's probative there, that shows that Madeline Soto was maybe saying something that should have alerted Jen to the abuse or was talking about the abuse or describing the abuse, that would be read out in court. That would be evidence that they'd want to present. The same thing goes for Stephan Sterns. If Stephan Sterns is smart as a criminal and he only did his wares via FaceTime, but he kept their conversations completely clean, then those text messages wouldn't be read out in court because they just wouldn't be probative with him saying, how was your day in school today? Oh, it was good. All right, well, have a good night. I'll talk to you tomorrow. That's not probative. You know, maybe the defense would use that to say, hey, look, he was a good fatherly role model. So maybe the defense would want to put that out there to show that he really liked, Madeline and cared about her as a fatherly figure to try and mitigate his whatever. So I hope that answered your question.
Yes, you did. And I also want to say thank you for educating me because I love catching your lies. And I love that you educate me in your experience and the way you speak about your children. I'm the same way with mine. And I just wanted to say thank you for doing a good job.
Oh, well, thank you so much for supporting me. I know you're grateful for what you say I bring to the platform, but I'm nothing without people like you. And I really appreciate your support. And we'll see you out there, man. Thank you so much.
Okay. Thank you. Your wife is very blessed.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. We'll see if she thinks that way. She thinks I'm annoying. How am I annoying because I want to kiss you? Come here. Let me get a kiss. How you always try to touch me and kiss me? Yeah, well, what do you want me to do? Man, come on, you're hot. She's beautiful. She's a beautiful woman. Anyway, next caller. Come on, somebody come in here, call up. Here we go. Welcome to the Strategic Guys Show. What's going on, caller? What's your name and where you calling from?
Hey, this is Jay from Orlando, Florida. Love your show, brother.
Oh, man, appreciate it. We got a lot of people from Orlando, man. I really do appreciate you locals calling in. What's happening? What you got for me?
A lot of people. So let me tell you this. I knew someone with direct information from day one on this case, right? As soon as they switched it over to Kissimmee PD from Orlando PD,
right?
This person told me this case is going to be botched beyond all belief.
Why did they say that for?
And sure enough, I I don't want to say too much because I think that would kind of start telling people where that person worked.
Okay.
And how close that person was.
Mm-hmm.
But just to say this person deals with any kind of violent crime
mm-hmm.
that comes in to the whole Central Florida area.
Okay.
And of all the different departments,
so he's on some type
of Orlando, whether it's Orange County, whether it's whatever.
So he's most likely a state
PD.
guy. He's a state guy who's on some type of task force. You gave too much information already, but go ahead. Kissimmee, please.
Wrong.
Okay, I got you.
But good try. Good try.
Okay.
But I will tell you that they said
mm-hmm.
that as soon as it went to Kissimmee PD,
mm-hmm.
that not only was it going to be botched, that the mom was going to get off.
Right.
And it's just insane. It's insane how, in my opinion, it's obvious that this story was concocted together.
Right.
He was running cover for this guy.
Absolutely.
I don't know how else anyone can see it any other way.
Mm-hmm. And
they could have been both in jail or in holding, whatever, Wednesday night when they arrested Stephan. They could have arrested her right along with it. But for whatever reason, they thought she was going to crack and give them some information, and she never did. And why? Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, I'm going to let you finish. But when you're done with the call, I'm going to explain to you why even what you're saying is not how it works, which shows how much they botched this. And I'm explain, but I want you to finish what you're gonna say before I explain how it doesn't even work that way. That they would think, oh, she's gonna give us something, so let us not arrest her. It doesn't work that way, and I'm gonna explain why. But keep going.
Right. And it's just wild. Everyone here in Orlando, no one understands why this woman isn't in jail.
Mm-hmm.
But for some reason, this Jay, what's his name?
Jay Williams.
Oh my God, this Jay Williams guy is just messed this whole thing up. When was that interview, in March?
Something like that, yeah.
When he did that, yeah. Oh my God, like it just makes no sense. So you look at all the comments and all the different Channel 2, Channel 6, Channel 9, all the different local radio. It's all filled with why isn't she in jail?
That's right.
What is going on here?
That's right.
It makes no sense. Every time you put some new interview, some new video, it just re-aggravates me even more when I'm listening to this. It's wild. It's wild. Have a happy Sunday. I'm gonna hang up and then I'm gonna listen to what you have to say on your on the pod.
No, I appreciate you, man. Thank you so much for calling and supporting the channel. Peace.
No problem. Thank you.
All right, man. I'm gonna give you guys. I'm gonna explain to you why it doesn't work that way. First of all, big shout out to that call. I love when people call who are local, who will give me inside information, even if they just give me the temperature. Hold on. Oh boy. I'm trying to find the person who's calling. I couldn't, unfortunately. I had a glitch on my end. So call back. We'll put you on hold. And then we'll explain why it doesn't work that way. Like my computer's kind of like a new setup, so everything is kind of like going crazy right. Hold on here. Let me fix all of this. I'm not going to forget what I was going to say, guys. I apologize. I'm trying to fix everything. Everything just went bonkers just now, like literally like bonkers. All right, get that out of there. Boom. All right. So caller said something interesting. He said he thought, or they thought, here we go. All right, caller, give me 1 second. Hold on. I got to make a point, all right? So just hold on, put the phone on mute so we don't hear what's happening on your side, and I'll be right with you. All right. So caller said that they thought they were going to get something out of her. That's why they didn't charge her. But that's not how we work in law enforcement, guys. That's not how we do deals. That's not how we do derivative use deals. That's not how we do transactional use deals. That's not how you do it. What they were supposed to do is they were supposed to arrest Jen Soto and charge her. And then when she's facing charges, then you try and make a deal with her. They made a deal with her, number one, before charging her. They made a deal with her, number two, without even knowing what she was willing to tell them. It was the worst derivative use, transactional use immunity deal I've ever seen in my life. She didn't get transactional, but she got derivative use. But I'm just telling you, any type of transactional or derivative, any type of immunity deal, it was the worst that I've ever seen. The way it was executed was amateurish. So that's why I'm getting so pissed off when people in the comments are telling me that William J is a hero in Florida because he got Sarah Boone placed in jail. The easiest case on the planet, Sarah Boone. She basically convicted herself, Sarah Boone. They did not do it the way it was supposed to be done. You put the perp in jail first, and then you use that pressure of them facing criminal charges to make them crack. In fact, if she was arrested, she probably would have flipped on Stephan without even getting any type of immunity deal. They'd have been like, yo, listen, instead of us giving you 5 years, we're going to give you probation, or we're going to give you 2 years. And she would have probably flipped on Stephan Sterns. But anyway, new caller, how you doing? Welcome to the channel. What's your name and where you calling from?
Hi, I'm Anatolia. I'm calling from Texas. I'm a longtime viewer of your strategic.
Thank you so much. Appreciate
I actually just called because I had a question about the handgun.
Okay.
I know they found one in the house, but then the cop mentioned that he had one in the car. So do you think there were multiple handguns that he had?
I got to look into that. There might have been. We know that Stephan Sterns did own multiple guns. I have to look into it. That's a fact that escapes me. So we'll look into that. Our chat will also look into that because we got the best true crime chat in all of YouTube. But that handgun makes me think about a different point. The fact that Jen Soto told the officers where the handgun was located, that it was located in a drawer. And it doesn't matter what state you're in, whether you're in Florida, where they have very loose handgun and personal carry laws, or in New York, where they have some of the most stringent personal carry laws. You have to properly store a weapon. And Stephan Sterns' weapon was not properly stored. And not only was it not properly stored, but it was also within grabbing reach of a teenager, of a child. So Stephan Sterns and Jen Soto could have also been charged with improperly storing that handgun. That's another charge of many charges that Jen Soto could have been charged with that she was not charged with. Because if you have knowledge, oh yeah, he stores the gun in the drawer up there and I also let my daughter go up there and sleep with him, guess what? You're just as guilty as Stephan Sterns for exposing that child to a dangerous weapon. But I hope that answered your question. We'll have to get back to you on the answer for that. You got anything else for that before we let you go?
No, that was it. Thank you. My wife and I just love watching you, so figured I'd call in. I hope you have a wonderful Sunday. Love
Appreciate you. Thank you so much, man, and keep watching. That's an order. Peace. All right, more callers. Let's take 2 or 3 more callers and we'll call it a day. We don't want to be here for 1,000 years, but I love hearing from you guys, and I'd love to answer any questions you have. So if you have any questions for me, even if it's not related to this show that we just did today, give me a call. And what I want to do is a Q&A. I haven't done a Q&A yet since I've started this journey in true crime. So for the members, we'll set something up. You have any questions for me about investigations, about my work, about whatever? We're not going to do that right now, but I am going to set up a show that will give you guys an opportunity to ask me some questions, okay? So definitely keep that in mind. Aki, remind me about that. We're definitely going to make that happen. Any other callers? Anybody else want to call in? Please call in. The number's 518-639-6283. Let me hear your theories. Let me hear your questions on what we're doing here and what we're seeing on this show so far. Give me a call. We're waiting for those calls to come in. In the meantime, Carolina Hurtado, who's a member of the show, says, Jen Soto didn't get a full immunity deal. Derivative immunity means that Jen Soto can still be charged. Let's wait and see what Mr. Will J is going to do. All right, so we're taking the first call. How you doing? Welcome to the show. Strategic Guys here. What's your name? Where are you calling from? For the caller who's calling right now, you have to call back a little bit later.
Hello?
Yep. What's your name and where are you calling from?
Hi, my name is Kat. I'm so happy I got, my call to get through. How are you?
I'm doing all right.
My question is a little bit because I've been listening to your show for a long time.
Okay. What's a long time? People say a long time. What is a long time?
Maybe right after the Madeline Soto case.
Okay.
So it could be since March, maybe.
Okay, definitely. All right. Almost a year. Let's keep going.
So I I just wanted to ask you, from your point of view, for all the parents that we are here listening to this show, what can we do with the little girls? What can advise? What can we tell that they can prevent this from happening again? Because he sees all these men coming to them, threatening them, telling them that they cannot speak. It's something that a society is failing to do to these little girls, that they're not giving enough education in school. It's something as a parents that we can do.
Right.
I just want to hear what you do in your family and as a professional also. Thank
Absolutely.
you. Calling from Seattle, by the way.
Oh, thank you so much. I'm sorry you live in Seattle. Anyway, very good question. And I can tell you professionally and personally what I would do and what I've seen professionally. Believe it or not, your children are not in that much danger, but the danger that we allow them to be put in. So most people or most abusers are people that you know. They're not the strangers on the street. It's less likely that your child is going to be plucked off the street by some stranger than a boyfriend, a husband, a stepdad, an uncle, a brother is going to be the person who's going to hurt them. So what you have to do is you have to educate your children on sex, not on the joys of sex, no, on who they are, their body, about respecting their body, about their body being theirs and not other people having access to their body. You have to have that conversation with them, that these are your private spaces. These are just for you, mommy, and the doctor. You have to educate them on that so they understand when somebody tries to touch them in these places that it's wrong. That's number one. And that starts at a young age. The next thing is most of these predators are people we bring into our children's lives. That's both professionally, that's what I see. So we, as adults, and primarily as women, and it's not women's faults, but the majority of the predators are men. So on the man aspect, we need to stop creating these monsters who are men, who are predators, who are abusing these children. But on the female aspect, we have to be discerning on who we allow into our life. Who we allow into our life. So we look at the Naziah Harris case. Naziah Harris, her uncle, they keep calling him uncle, but he was never legally married to her aunt, but he did have 5 kids, so I guess he is an uncle. Let's not play the semantics. He's an uncle. He's got 5 kids with the aunt. He was a registered sex offender. He was a guy who was convicted of having intercourse with an underage child, the same age as Naziah. Not only that, but he had a history of molesting other children that nobody reported to the police, but the whole community was talking about. The whole community knew him as the Chester molester that resided in that community. But yet the aunt still decided, I'm going to give him a chance and I'm going to bring him into my life and I'm going to sire 5 children with him and I'm going to expose him to all these other children that are part of my extended family. Discernment, making good choices about the people that you bring into your life. That's what protects your children. You can't protect your children from the biological father who's your husband that lives in the same house with you and everybody got a job. There's nothing you could do about that. If biological dad, decides he wants to be a pedo, incest, graper, there's nothing we could do. There's nothing you could have done. But you can choose who your boyfriend is. You can do a background check on that guy. You can not bring him around your children until you guys get serious and you're ready to take this relationship to the next level where maybe you're getting engaged. You can do that. You can't allow yourself to be so desperate that you say, you know what, can you just watch the kid, my daughter, while I run to the store? No, you bring your daughter with you. And these are the mistakes that Jen Soto did. She was looking for somebody to take care of Maddie because she didn't want to take care of her. There's a story, there's people trying to call in, so I'm going to run to them in a second. I want to give you this quick story. And I apologize to the people who are trying to call in. Please do call back when I'm done with this call. We're going to cover for the members, and then I'll release it for everybody else, these New Jersey teachers who are arrested. These are separate cases. One is a janitor, one is a teacher for raping children. One is a female who actually became impregnated by her student who's 13 years old, but she's been raping him since he was like 9 or 10. As I read into that story, I find out that she befriended the family over the children. The children would go spend the night with her sometimes. It's the brother and the sister. And eventually, I still don't understand this. Eventually, the parents allowed the children to go live with the teacher full time. And they only found out that the son was being raped by the teacher until the teacher had a child that was 4 years old. The father goes to visit his son at his teacher's house, who he's now abdicated his responsibility to. They have given their children to this teacher. And when they go do a regular visit, like everything is cool because they didn't think anything was wrong. They thought that the teacher was doing a great job raising their kids. He looks at her child, her biological child, and he says, why does your child look like me? Hold on, caller. Give me 1 second. Let me finish my thought. 1 second, I'll get right to you. And so the father goes, he goes, why does your child look like me? I didn't have intercourse with you. Hold on. Your child looks like me, and it looks like my son. And that is how that New Jersey teacher had just got arrested a couple of days ago. And in fact, she was abusing that child, and she sired a child with him. And they only found out because the biological father of the son saw that her child looked like his family. That family gave up their rights and their duties as a parent to somebody else, and look what happened. The child got abused. We have to be in our children's lives. That's the answer to the question. New caller, how you doing? What's your name and where you calling from?
Hi, my name's Anna, and I'm calling from Southern California.
All right. First of all, is everything all right with you down there? Is that the area where these fires are happening?
Well, I'm about 15 miles from the fires, and
Pretty close.
Yeah, and it's pretty ashy and soot all in the air, so bad air quality right now. But I'm okay. I'm safe. My animals are safe.
Good. Make sure that you go get yourself some type of breathing apparatus. Not an apparatus. That mean like a tank, but like some type of face mask, like a 95.
Well, I know. Yeah, I know what you mean. I was supposed to be born in a bubble. But anyhow, really quick, I love your show. I love you. Love you. Love you.
Appreciate you.
And I just wanted to point out that I don't know if anybody else noticed, but Jennifer Soto, in one of her interviews with one of the detectives, she mentions that she even gives an absurd laugh at a giggle, how she laughs about Maddie not wanting or being embarrassed about being in Stefan's car. But that was supposedly Stefan's first time ever allegedly dropping her off. Well, how can she ever been embarrassed about that car if she's never been driven by him in that car?
Because she's lying. It's just that simple.
Yep.
In my opinion, at least. You got to be careful on YouTube.
I believe she is too.
Yeah.
I believe she is too.
In my opinion, she's lying. They interviewed neighbors, they interviewed the roommates, they interviewed the family, and they asked the question about Stephan Sterns dropping her off. And everybody said, to my knowledge, he never dropped her off. Or if he did, it was just 1 or 2 times. That's like the most that we got out of that. Like one person saying that maybe it happened 1 or 2 times. We didn't get anybody else saying that they ever knew Stephan Sterns to drop her off. So guess what? I just don't think that Jen Soto was being honest.
Correct. They concocted that story together.
Yeah. There's no other answer to it. No other answer to it. Anything else for me?
No, that's it. I love your show, and that's all I got to say. Thank you.
Thank you for calling, and be safe out there.
All right, you too. Bye-bye.
All right. 2 more callers. 2 more callers, and we're calling it a day. There we go. I'm sorry. This app started acting up. How you doing? Welcome to Strategic Eyes Show. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, Strategic, man. I'm calling from Utica.
Okay, Utica. I spent some time up there when I used to work for State Corrections. Nice little town. Little interesting
where
town.
Marcy?
All over.
Oh,
because the parole officers too. Marcy, the parole officers, because State Corrections investigators don't just investigate the prisons; they also investigate the parole officers as well. So I've been out there a lot. What's going on?
I hear you, man. Well, first I want to say I love your take on everything. And let's face it, if this happened in New York, if this guy walked into any detective room in New York, I don't believe. I mean, the question I have is, okay, so we knew. And they knew the whole time that he has this the pictures on his phone, right?
CSAM, yes.
So why?
Not the whole time though. Not the whole time. But go ahead, continue.
Well, no. While the detectives have him in the interview room, they knew that it was on his phone. Correct.
That they did. Yes, they did.
Okay, so at this point, they know they have him on that. So why are they spending all of this time, like playing nice with him and trying to get this information, where they should have been holding that over his head, being like, listen, this is a capital case you got, bro. You ain't ever getting out unless, why didn't they put that on him? It made me mad watching. My skin was crawling. I was like, there's so many different options for those policemen. And I respect all policemen for what they do. Don't get me wrong. I don't, but they had the information. They had him on that. That was a done deal. They didn't need no admission. So why wouldn't they go for the thing? Why didn't they turn them against each other? So many different things that came to my mind.
Let me ask you a question. If you've got, not you, if you know somebody that is going through cancer treatment, right? Where you at? Where are you at again? You in Utica, right?
I'm in Utica.
You in Utica.
Yeah,
so,
I live in, yeah.
All right, so you're in Utica. You know somebody in Utica who has a treatable cancer. I'm trying to soften it. I don't want to put nothing. I'm West Indian. We're very superstitious. I don't want to put nothing on nobody.
I hear you, man. Thank you. So am I. I'm sitting here being all right.
And that person has the opportunity to either get that treatment in Utica or to go down to New York City to Memorial Sloan Kettering, which is the most premier cancer institute in the world.
You're going to New York, man.
Right.
You're going to New York all day long.
So my point is this, right? Why are they going to New York? Why? Because they got better trained doctors, right?
They're the best.
But they have doctors in Utica too, right?
They do.
So my point is that just because you're a doctor doesn't mean that there aren't better doctors, right? So listen, these guys down there, they got detective shields. Their title is detective, but that does not mean that they're good. And it doesn't even have to be them personally. It could be the training that they get, the resources that they get. Kissimmee is a very poor area. So if your police department is going to match the amount of finances, the amount of tax dollars that your town, your city, your municipality is able to invest in there, training costs money. So
I'm on a professional question now. Mm-hmm. Do you think that possibly they were so weak in that room because of the fact that everybody is so afraid of appeals these days? They don't want to say the wrong thing.
No. It doesn't work that way. It does not work that way in an interrogation room. As long as you read that person their rights, you're good to go. Of course, there's some things you don't do. You can even lie to people. You just can't lie to the point that the Supreme Court said you can't lie to the point where it shocks the court. They didn't even give a clear roadmap. And an example was, I think the case that brought it to the Supreme Court is an autistic dude who was like, this is the story that comes to my head. I don't even know if this was the Supreme Court case, so I just want to be as factual as possible. But an autistic dude who was easily suggestible was put into an interrogation room, and they said, we have you on camera with your face. We know that you did it. And if you tell us you did it, you could go home. And so the guy said, okay, I did it. But they didn't have him on camera, and he was not going to go home. So that was a lie that shocked the court. Right. So you can't tell lies like that, but you could lie to a person. So there's a lot of leeway in that interrogation room. I just believe that they just weren't that trained. I don't think that they're bad people. I don't even think that they're not good detectives. I just believe that they're just not trained.
Communication?
I think that they were not trained.
Lack of communication?
No, communication
100%.
had nothing to do with it. I believe they were not that trained and therefore not that talented to deal with a high-profile interview like the one that we observed. It's not about communication. It's not about none of that. There were some communication issues between Orange County and Kissimmee when they did that whole transfer over. We saw that in the interview with Jen Soto where they come in and they don't even have the pictures, and Jen is like, well, show me the pictures. And they're like, well, you don't have it. They didn't give it to us. And Orange County had those pictures because they were ready to show it to Jen before they got pulled out the room and swapped out. I think that whole swapping out was unprofessional. If they're in the middle of an interrogation and you're like, well, we got jurisdiction, let them finish their interrogation. You can always have that Orange County guy go and testify to what was said. So, but the swapping out in the middle was unprofessional. I believe that they just weren't that trained and prepared for that type of interview. They're not that good because they're not trained.
So why are all these like other channels, except for the one guy, the sergeant from New York, detective, off the cuff? He's awesome. I like what he has to say a lot of the time. But the thing is, why are all these other like big time shows saying, "Oh, this is textbook"?
Listen,
I don't
man,
understand that. Like,
I don't like to comment on other channels. I don't know these people.
oh, I'm sorry.
No. I'm gonna answer your question to the best within the confines of what I'm willing to say. I don't know these folks. I don't watch all these channels. People throw all these channels out there. I don't watch them because it's just too much for me. I don't go to other channels to learn how to read body language, how to do interview interrogation. When I want to learn interview interrogation, when I want to see, I go watch the actual interview interrogations of other channels like on EW, whatever, Come Explore with Us. I would just watch detectives do their thing. I don't watch these professional channels with these psychologists, behavioral people, because they can't teach me nothing. No disrespect. I'm in the game. I'm in the shit right now. You know what I'm saying? You understand what I'm saying? So I can't speak for them. I could just speak for me. I am an active duty sex crimes detective in the shit right now. And I'm going to go based off of my instincts and based off of my experience. So I can't speak for these folks. I know that off the cuff dude was a sergeant. He was in the shit too. So he's speaking from experience. You know what I'm saying?
Well, that's what I mean. You guys share a lot of the same ideas about that whole situation,
right.
and I really respect both you guys and your opinions. And thank you for your time. I'm a big fan, and I'm definitely I'm enjoying this. So thank you.
Appreciate you, man. Thanks for calling.
God bless you, man. God bless you.
Peace. Yeah, man. There's no disrespect to any of those other channels, man. But I watch the Grizzly, I watch the Plunder. I get things out of them. I get information out of them. But you guys, go watch those shows. Go. I'm good. Welcome to the Strategic Eyes Show. What's happening? The caller who's on hold right now, please call back when we're done with this call. What's your name and where you calling from?
Hi, my name is Mary, and I'm from Maryland.
What's going on, Mary from Maryland? Talk to me.
Okay. Well, first of all, I want to say I appreciate everything you do.
Thanks.
I know that it's hard working in government and then taking the extra time to, put a video together and everything, and I really appreciate that. And I got in at the probably middle end of your show, so I missed some stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But I wanted to make an observation that I saw in the video when I watched Plunder's video.
Absolutely.
And somebody may have said this already, but I noticed that when they were questioning them, and Stephan was talking over top of Jen the entire time, right? But he kept trying to butt in and control the narrative a little bit, and that annoyed me.
Just to stop you there, in the beginning of the show, because you said that you didn't see it, I made a comment about that. I said, listen, if I'm this officer, I'm like, who are you? Because the officer comes in, he doesn't even, when you see it on a replay, if you decide to replay it from the beginning, the officer doesn't know who Jen Soto is. He doesn't, the first person to answer the door, I think was a roommate or somebody. Like, are you Madeline's mother? She said, no. Then Jen comes, I'm the mother. And then, like you said, Stephan starts talking over her. And I would ask, all right, who are you? What's your name? Officer never asked that. But go ahead, keep going.
And did you notice that he kept putting his hands inside of his jacket, covering his hands up? Like it was cold. He acted like it was freezing. And they're in Florida, and it's, the end of February. I don't think it was that cold. And didn't they question him about the cuts on his hand? And then he said, oh, well, that was from me changing my tire. But it looked like he was, trying to hide his hands on purpose, just, not to let them see that he had any marks on his hands to, avoid triggering some suspicion.
It's possible. It's possible. We did observe, I made notice during the video that he kept his hands crossed. I took that more of guilty knowledge. Based off of my training and experience with body language. I'm not a body language examiner or nothing like that. Just taking courses as a detective. People typically do that when they're being defensive, when they're trying to hide something, when they're nervous, etc. That's what I read out of it. He did have those cuts on his hands, so there's a possibility he was also doing that. But he could have just easily put his hands in his pocket, but he didn't. He had his hands mostly crossed, and there were some times that he put it in his pocket, but most of the time his hands was crossed. So yeah, you're right. You could be absolutely correct in your observation.
No, I think it was probably both. I mean, his body language reeks of guilt when you look at him. And if you had just any background in education, even a little bit of psychology, you can just tell everything about him just exudes guilt. Everything about him is just so creepy. It's just, he disgusts me.
Right.
And the other thing, and I know everybody wants to say Jen Soto knew it and she knew what was going on. I honestly don't think that she did.
Okay.
I think that Maddie was just an annoyance to her. I mean, what mother misses her daughter's 13th birthday?
So let me ask you a
don't
question.
care.
Since I have you here, I want to ask you a question, all right? Because we don't have any evidence in Jen Soto knew. There's no evidence of it that we've seen so far. Obviously, there's things that we don't know because we just got this video. With all the FOIA requests that were given, we just got this video. So there might be evidence out there that hasn't been published yet. But she lived in the house with her daughter and Stephan Sterns. And she set out her mouth that if it was a school week, Stephan Sterns would sleep with Madeline Soto 5 days out of the week. She said that during the interview with Detective Kevin. After she got wind and was made privy to the abuse that her daughter was experiencing, she said that the sex stuff was not evil, but the murder was evil. We heard that with her own voice. And then she said, well, you know, what if I don't want to charge him now? Could I charge him later if I change my mind? I want you, and I'm not trying to shame you. I'm asking you because I rarely get to talk to people that have your point of view. With that knowledge, do you really think that Jen didn't know that something was happening and maybe she just didn't care because she didn't care about Maddie and thought Maddie was annoying? Do you really think that Jen had absolutely no knowledge that something untoward was happening to her daughter? And I'll leave, before you answer that question, I'll give you one more thing. And then she said she had the discussion with Stephan Sterns about the Woody Allen effect, which she was afraid that Madeline would grow up and run away with Stephan as his wife. The same thing that happened with Woody Allen. Do you really think she had no inkling that something untoward was happening? Can you answer that question? And whatever your answer is your answer. I will never shame you. There's no bad theory.
I think she thought that there may have been a possibility, but she just didn't care enough to look into it.
It's a reasonable answer. I appreciate
you. And it probably didn't surprise her when she found out about it. And when she said that, I think when she was speaking, when she said the sex stuff wasn't evil, I've listened to her statements a couple times. I don't think she articulated the sentence, and I know everybody's going to get mad at me. I think she has a hard time saying what she really means and putting it into words. Probably a combination of all the medication she's on, and I don't know.
See, this is where folks. So, what your answer was very reasonable to me, and I appreciate you for that. But this is where you lose me. Where you lose me is that some people, I don't know you, but some people love to put their own empathy and bias into evaluating other people that they don't know. You don't know Jen. You don't know what her medication does to her. You don't know how she speaks. You don't know how her brain formulates words. You don't know none of that. But you're assuming and you're giving her deference with information that you don't know. So listen, like once again, there's no bad way of saying this, and I appreciate what you're saying, and I understand your perspective. I think you're a very reasonable person, but I just feel like we're giving her deference why? How do we know how she formulates her words? She seems pretty articulate to me. She rehearsed, she spoke about those rehearsed narratives of what happened pretty clearly to me. Like, we don't know what her medication's done to her. Even if we took the same medication she took, it affects everybody differently. But yet we're giving her a pass. But it is what it is. I think the world is beautiful when we have these different perspectives.
I don't want her to get a pass. I wanted her to be guilty so bad because she's a horrible. I have a daughter, and I just can't. How do you not know? I can feel when something's wrong with my daughter. I would never miss her 13th birthday. I just don't. She's just horrible. But I don't know why they can't find any proof. There has to be something somewhere, and if they didn't find any, the only thing I can figure is that she just didn't care enough to look into it. She just stayed messed up on her medication all the time and worried about herself. And Maddie was just an impediment to her life.
Right.
That's,
Well,
I
Go ahead, finish.
That's all I got.
All right. No, appreciate you. Thank you. I appreciate you for being a good caller and for having a respectful debate with me, hearing my point out. Of course, I heard your point out as well. This is what we do on the Strategic Eyes Show. So thank you for supporting me, and I hope you stick around and call back in again, all right?
All right, thanks.
All right. Have a great day. All right. And I will say, guys, that I do think that there's evidence. I think there's tons of evidence. I think that she obstructed justice. She lied about a few things. People are saying, well, why isn't there evidence? When I say there's no evidence, I'm talking about evidence of us actually knowing that Stephan Sterns raped Maddie. I'm talking about evidence of us knowing, of Jen Soto knowing that Stephan Sterns killed her and hid her body. There's no evidence of that. There's no evidence of her knowing that Maddie was raped. What's up, caller? Give me 1 second. Let me finish my thought. There's no evidence of those things, but there's tons of evidence that Jen Soto obstructed justice. There's tons of evidence that she was, negligent as a parent. She lied multiple times and sent police down rabbit holes they didn't have to go through if Jen wasn't lying about where she was, where the child was, and what she saw. She lied about those things. Those are criminal charges you can charge somebody with. And how do we know that? Because William J. said it during the derivative use immunity deal. He said it. He said that it was crimes and they're dirt under the bridge. First of all, who says dirt under the bridge? That just shows you his mental acumen. Just because you're a lawyer doesn't mean that you're smart. Lawyers know how to remember facts and how to write. That's what law school teaches you. Remembering facts, remembering laws, and learning how to write. That's law school. Medical school is fucking chemistry, physiology, all kinds of crazy shit. Law school is memory and writing skills. That doesn't mean that you're a smart person. It means you have a good memory. You know how to put two sentences together. Anyway, let's keep going. How you doing, caller? Where you calling from? What's your name?
Hi, my name's Marina Valdez. And
Hello, Miss Valdez.
Sorry. And I listen to your show all the time. I'm from Texas.
Okay. Big Texas.
And I love how passionate you are about this because, hearing stuff on like the podcast and everything on the other side, you just want someone to feel the passion that you feel for this little girl.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
And
it's the same passion I bring to my day job.
Yes. And I'm in anything, I just bring my 100 in everything that I do.
It's good.
And I feel for this little girl so much because, and I feel like there's no excuses for Jen. She herself said that she was sexually abused.
Right.
And so you're going through life with that, and you just don't watch your daughter. You just let all this stuff pass by, down to a sex toy even being in the room. Right. That your daughter is sleeping with this other man.
Yeah.
And there's no excuse. I don't see, to me, the proof is in the pudding. I see her actions. I see her words. And she's beyond guilty. She knows she is. And that's why she's hiding.
Right.
She knows she has to be on a tight rope because people are watching her like a hawk.
Mm-hmm.
To me, if that happened to my child, I am not staying quiet. I want justice done to my child.
Right.
And the fact that she had so much sympathy for Stephan, after she saw all that evidence, she saw her daughter on the phone, a video getting hurt. And the first thing she does is not worry about her child, but hey, let me protect Stephan. Let me call his dad. Hey, lawyer him up.
People forget that.
And then, yes. And on top of that, so that's just one thing said. And then the whole thing, like you said, can I charge him later? What if I don't want to? That's your thought after seeing that? And knowing that you went through sexual abuse too?
Listen.
And to me, her mental illnesses or whatever she has, medicines that you take, and I know a lot. I have family members that are on mental or on medication. These medications are not meant to make you helpless. These medications are meant to make you stable to go through life. And I feel like everyone is just like, well, she has so much, emotional things going on or in her head and stuff like this, and her medications. She was abusing those medications.
Right. Well, you know what? Stephan
She was
Sterns
not
had
taking
stuff
those.
going on in his head. Stephan Sterns, PTSD,
Exactly.
and Stephan Sterns had brain injuries and all that stuff. Why are we not giving him the same excuses that we want to give Jen Soto? Nobody cares about what's going on with Stephan
Exactly.
Sterns, but people somehow now care about Jen Soto. Come on, man. Keep
Yes.
going. I'm sorry.
Like, this was not just 1, 2 photos or videos. This was thousands. I mean, this man targeted this little girl. Oh my little boy.
All good.
And I just can't imagine going through life being as, I mean, people are acting like literally these people are blind.
Mm.
They knew what they were doing. Like, to me, Jen Soto going through whatever she went through and then just ignoring, like, to me, you knew. Like, I think she was using, how can people be so broke but be buying so much?
It's true. It's true.
And one thing I've noticed, this is just a side thing that I've noticed because I do love to investigate a lot of stuff. One thing I've noticed, and you tell me what you think.
So, last point, though, because
Since Stephan
we're almost at 6-minute
yes,
mark. We're going to
since
get to a
Stephan-
caller.
Yes, since Stephan Sterns has been arrested and they went through all the files and found stuff,
Right.
I have noticed that in Kissimmee, a lot of child predators are getting caught.
Mm.
One of them being at her school.
Mm.
And if he was trading or selling, I believe that they found a group or a network of them, of these child molesters.
Possible. I doubt it, though, and I'm going to tell you why I doubt it, and I'm going to let you go. So anything else before we go? And I'm going to answer your question why I doubt it.
No, that is it. Love your show. Keep doing what you're doing.
Appreciate you. Have a great one. All right. The reason why I doubt it, guys, is because that stuff is in the purview of the feds. Big shout out to Paula Mesa with a $10 super chat. Says, #1 fan, thank you so much. Very generous of you. Very kind of you. So that stuff is the purview of the feds. So the ones that were arrested, this stuff was like found on these people's phones and stuff like that. So that's a local issue. But the feds are the ones that deal with the rings and the internet because that's interstate commerce. Because when you go on the internet, your traffic doesn't stay in your state or even your municipality. It goes, like when I go on google.com, I might be hitting a server in a different country. I might be hitting a server in California, server in anywhere. Like when you get on the internet, it becomes a federal issue. So all of these cases we're dealing with weren't with federal. These were local, which means that when you find something on somebody's phone, that's local. So Stephan Sterns, his stuff was found on his phone, that's local. You understand what I'm saying? And he backed it up to the cloud, but they don't have no evidence of him trading it just yet because they can't get into that Telegram because Telegram is basically secure. And the messages disappear and all that extra stuff. And if you don't have the password for the Telegram, you're not getting in there. So I don't know if there's a connection. There might be. Caller was not wrong, but I don't know if there's a connection that what was found on Stephan Sterns' phone was somehow used to get these other people. But what I can say is that Stephan Sterns definitely was getting stuff from other groups because 30,000, I think it's 30,000, images were found that did not involve Maddie and Stephan. That was just CSAM that he got off the internet. So the question is, where was he getting that? And that might have been from a ring, but that would mean that the feds would be involved. And the feds might be involved, but usually when they come on these cases, they like to do press conferences and stuff like that. Say, we are now involved in this case or whatever. But that doesn't mean that they have to. They could be involved right now looking into these rings. But if they were connected to Stephan Sterns, I would imagine that it would be the FBI or Homeland Security that would be making those arrests for Santa. We covered that. For not the janitor, but the after-school worker at Hunters Creek. We covered that story as well. That story got a lot of traction, got a couple tens of thousands of views on it. Go check those stories out if you want to be brought up to speed on them. We covered them extensively. The great caller, really appreciate you. Last caller, and then we're getting out of here. Last caller. Call in. Let's hear from you. And I just want to address a comment that was made. Somebody was like, Strategic, there's tons of evidence and she will be charged from our Jen Soto. I never said there was not evidence. I just laid out for you guys a ton of evidence as to why she should be charged. I just don't feel like they have the will to charge her. I don't have faith in William J. You guys hero. You guys hero. Tons of people in the chat talking about, William J. is the greatest strategic. He's so good. He's a hero down here. Grady Judge is your hero too, right? I like Grady Judge. But guess what? Grady Judge failed a victim. I'm going to cover that story too. A little girl went to Grady Judge and said, listen, my uncle has been raping me. My uncle, who's now my father because he adopted her, has been raping me. And you know what? One of Grady Judge's detectives said, no, you're lying. We're going to charge you for lying. Let me get that girl's name up. They charged her for lying. They made her write an apology letter to the detective and her uncle. And guess what? She had to literally record her uncle graping her for him to now do 17 years in prison for graping her. That's under Grady Judge's watch. Stop making people your heroes. You don't know these people. You don't know none of these people. You don't know me. You don't know Plunder. You don't know Grizzly. You don't know none of these people. Stop making these people your heroes. You don't know people until you know them. Grady Judge is a hero because he come on TV and today we got a rapist. We got a robber who thought he was smarter than the police. That's politics. That's theatrics. But guess what? You failed one victim, you failed everybody. That little girl had to take her cell phone and download a special secret app and record her uncle graping her for Grady Judge's sheriff's department to arrest him after they arrested her and charged her and put her on probation and forced her to write a sorry letter to her abuser. Did you guys know about that story? Did you know about that? No, you didn't. I'm going to pull it up right now. Pulling that bad boy up right now. Pull this up over here. In fact, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to actually play the story for you, and then we're going to get out of here. I'm sorry. We supposed to be talking about Maddie, but I got to play this for you. I'll cut it out and we can make it its own video. I don't care. But I want to play this for you. You guys got to see this. This is heartbreaking. Oh, I can't play it. I don't know if I could play it because PBS did it, and they be copywriting people. So we'll just look at the article. We'll look at the article. Share this with you guys. Move myself over real quick. That's Grady Judge right there. Not believed, charged with filing false report. Polk teen captured on evidence during grape. And this was reported November 1st, 2024. But it happened like last year or something like that. Less than an hour. Actually, I got to blow my nose. Hold on, I'm sorry. Let me. Oh, much better. I could breathe now. Less than an hour after being raped by her adopted father along the side of a country road, the 13-year-old girl stood in the darkness, clutching a cell phone that held video and photographic evidence of his crime. Preparing to dial 911, the girl paused, thinking back to a year earlier when she had gone to law enforcement to report Henry Cato's ex abuse, only to have an investigator from the Polk County Sheriff's Office accuse her of lying. That investigator is still employed, still investigating cases, by the way, guys. Taylor Katie worried. I reached out to Taylor and I told her I wanted to interview her on my show. So if anybody knows this little girl, she's now a woman now who's married with children, please do tell her I want to talk to her. I want to bring awareness to what happened to her. This happened back in 2017. What Taylor Cato worried, would that happen again? Still, she overcame her fears and made the call in 2017. Hours later, she saw Henry Cato being led from their home in handcuffs, the last time she would ever see him. Taylor Cato remained anonymous until Tuesday night when PBS NewsHour carried a 10-minute segment exploring her story in a manner critical of the Polk County Sheriff's Office. The story has since spread on social media, gaining more than 1 million views on TikTok as of Friday. It's definitely scary, but also, very shocking that it has reached this much attention, Taylor Cato says. The NewsHour segment emphasized that Taylor felt it necessary to gather evidence on her own to prove that her adopted father had raped her. She took those brave actions knowing that about a year earlier, the Polk County Sheriff's Office not only declined to arrest Henry Cato, but charged Taylor with filing a false report. This is what Sheriff Grady's Polk County Sheriff's Office did to this victim. At the suggestion of her adopted mother, Henry Cato's wife, Taylor pled guilty. That lady is disgusting, by the way, to make this little girl plead guilty. Anyway, as part of her probation, she was required to write a letters of apology to Henry Cato and the Polk County Sheriff's deputy, Melissa Turnage. Piece of trash, Miss Turnage. Trash. But guess what? She's still working there, still drawing a case, still working with victims. The officer who interviewed her after the original complaint. Rachel De Leon, a reporter with the Center for Investigative Reporting based in San Francisco, spent about a year communicating with Taylor before the segment ran on PBS NewsHour. De Leon, featured in the 2023 Netflix documentary Victim/Suspect, specialized in reporting on cases of girls and women who face charges after law enforcement authorities discount their allegations of abuse. I want to read the rest. You go check it out for yourself because we'll be here all day. That's Polk County. But you guys think Polk County Sheriff Grady is awesome because he does these very entertaining press conferences about catching perps. That does not mean that you got it all figured out. It does not mean that you're a freaking hero. It just means you're entertaining on YouTube. William J. is not a superstar just because he got Sarah Boone. William J. is failing us on this Madeline Soto case. Anyway, that's all I got to say about that, guys. I'm going to end the show here. I see Aki just hit me up. You know, she's going to say, and then it's over now. You're beating a dead horse. She said pin. She didn't. She said pinning. Oh, I like it. Allegedly speculating is in the room. She said, I had no idea, and I honestly had a lot of respect for Grady. Thank you so much for coming through. I hope we showed you proper love and credit for the video that we used today. Thank you for your hard work that you did in getting this video. I think it was very probative, very interesting. Please go and support Allegedly and check out her video and definitely help her get some more subs because she deserves it. But we do appreciate that. I thought Aki was hitting me up like, stop reading that, Strategic. You're taking too long. You guys know Aki be abusing me. She just be herbing me. Listen, does that mean Grady's a bad guy? No, it doesn't mean he's a bad guy. You know what I'm saying? But he dropped the ball. And that mattered to this victim. This victim got failed. You know, but my point in bringing this up is not to say that Grady's a bad guy and don't vote him in. I think he's doing a good job out there. I think he's tough on crime. My purpose in telling you that is that people like to get a fan mentality on YouTube. Don't be a fan of Strategic. I'm just a blue-collar working guy. I'm not a fan. I'm not somebody for you to be a fan of. Don't be a fan of me. Don't be a fan of allegedly speculative or speculating. Don't be a fan of plunder. Don't be a fan of Grizzly. We're human. There's nothing special about us. We talk on a mic and we talk about public information that any of you are privy to. Any one of you could have done a FOIA request and got the video that allegedly got. Nothing is special about us. Nothing is special about William J. William J., in my opinion, is failing us on this Maddie case because Jen Soto should have been charged. That's my point in telling you all of this. We are human beings. Stop worshiping idols like the Bible told you. It doesn't matter what religion you're in. Most religion don't want you worshiping idols. And even if you believe in nothing, it's just not good character to worship idols. I am not an idol. William J. is not an idol. William J. is failing us in this Madeline Soto case. And that's my opinion. And if you disagree with me, well, William J., call me up and explain to me why you do it. He's going to say, I ain't calling that dude up. Who is this guy? He's a nobody. I'm not explaining it to him. Well, I probably make more money than you, William, on my day job. But anyway, that's beside the fact. You don't have to explain it to me if you don't want to. You don't have to. You don't have to. What you do owe is the people of Florida getting a solid investigation and prosecution of this guy. That's who you owe. You don't owe me. You owe the people of Florida a good job. And I think that you're failing. Anyway, I'm getting out of here because I'm getting too riled up. Start talking out my ass. I like to crack jokes on people. Here we go. Aki said, end it. She got to reel me in because I get, I'm from Harlem. So, we talk fancy and we start cracking jokes on people and we start getting egotistical. That's a Harlem thing. That's a New York thing. So let me end it now while I still can. Anyway, guys, I appreciate you guys immensely. Thank you so much for joining me today. Please consider becoming a member of the show. Consider giving some tea to the moderators. Aki working hard, keeping me in check, keeping me from getting all Harlem and gangster on you folks. So Aki's doing a great job, and we appreciate her. And if you appreciate her and all the other moderators and the work that they're doing, please consider giving them some coffee. We got the links. The links have been in the chat. Consider giving them some coffee, showing love to them. We do appreciate that. Lastly, we have a membership. There's 26 people became members today. You know what I'm saying? Consider joining them, being a part of the family, getting that exclusive content. And lastly, we have a Patreon. Our Patreon is doing really well. You get exclusive stuff on a Patreon that you're not going to get anywhere else. And I'm going to tell you this before I let you go. Me and Aki got a deal. Aki can't tell me what to do on the Patreon. She is a slave driver on YouTube, but she can't tell me what to do on her Patreon. So if you want to see me crazy, you want to see how crazy Strategic is, join the Patreon, because the Patreon, you'll get to see me untethered, unleashed on the Patreon. So join the Patreon. You get to see the Strategic Eyes Show, a different side of the Strategic Eyes Show, and we do appreciate you guys immensely. So that being said, let me definitely set up the outro. And one last time, thank you so much for allegedly speculating, for getting this stuff, and then also popping into the chat and showing us some love. We appreciate you, allegedly speculative. Good luck on your YouTube journey. We wish you nothing but the best. I'll see you guys on the next one. Strategic is out of here. Peace.